but always. Warrior.
Crom, I've never prayed you before.
In a world of swords, fire, and ancient gods, one warrior rose from pulp magazines to become a legend of cinema. Conan the Barbarian wasn't just a movie, it was a battle behind the scenes. A broken script, dangerous stunts, real injuries, and a young Arnold Schwarzenegger fighting to prove he belonged. These aren't just facts, they are the secrets that shaped a myth. And now, here are 15 facts that reveal the unbelievable truth behind Conan's rise to myth. Fact number 15. Conan began in pulp magazines, not Hollywood. Before Arnold ever picked up a sword, Conan was already a legend. The character was created in the 1930s by writer Robert E. Howard, a young Texan who lived in a rough oil town during the Great Depression. He wrote Conan's stories at night on an old typewriter, imagining a savage world filled with fallen kingdoms, brutal battles, and survival through strength. Conan wasn't noble or polite. He was instinct, raw power, and distrust for rulers. Howard wrote 21 stories in only 4 years before his death. Decades later, paperbacks and Marvel Comics revived Conan, catching Hollywood's attention. Fact number 14. Conan was almost a post-apocalyptic sci-fi movie. Before it became an ancient fantasy, Conan the Barbarian was almost a futuristic apocalypse. Producer Edward Pressman hired Oliver Stone to write the first script. Stone imagined Conan in a radioactive future after nuclear war, fighting mutants and leading armies in a world destroyed by radiation. The script was 4 hours long and impossible to film with the technology of the 1970s. Even Stone admitted it was unshootable. Everything changed when director John Milius took over. He threw out the futuristic setting and rebuilt Conan's world as a mythic, ancient civilization filled with warriors, temples, and primal gods. Fact number 13. The director wanted myth, not fantasy. John Milius didn't want Conan to feel like a normal adventure film. He wanted it to feel ancient, like a forgotten story told beside a fire. To find the right tone, he borrowed ideas from samurai legends, Norse myths, and Mongolian warriors. Artist Frank Frazetta's paintings gave Conan his iconic look: huge muscles, dramatic shadows, and violent beauty. Production designer Ron Cobb built the world with crumbling temples, stone carvings, and eerie symbols. Nothing looked clean or modern. The movie wasn't meant to show history or a fictional world. It was meant to feel like a legend reborn. Fact number 12. Conan's character was inspired by Genghis Khan. Conan's personality and beliefs were heavily shaped by real history. Director John Milius admired Genghis Khan, the Mongol conqueror, and even used Khan's famous line in the movie, "Crush your enemies." Conan's worldview, brutal honesty, and warrior philosophy came from Mongol culture. Even Subutai, Conan's companion, was named after one of Khan's greatest generals. Milius didn't just want a fictional hero. He wanted Conan to feel like a real warlord whose beliefs came from ancient conquerors. Every battle, every march through the desert, and every harsh decision carries echoes of the Mongol Empire. Fact number 11. Many actors were considered before Arnold. Before Arnold Schwarzenegger got the role, the producers searched everywhere: gyms, wrestling arenas, bodybuilding competitions, and action sets. Charles Bronson was too old, Sylvester Stallone was too famous, Lou Ferrigno had the muscle but not the intensity. Then Arnold walked in, fresh from pumping iron. Some executives worried about his thick accent and unfamiliar face. But director John Milius saw something special: a silent strength and a mythic presence. He believed Arnold didn't just act like Conan. He looked like he was born to be Conan. Choosing him was a gamble that changed movie history. Fact number 10. Arnold trained with legends on set. Arnold Schwarzenegger was still new to acting, and he suddenly found himself working with giants: James Earl Jones and Max von Sydow. Between takes, they taught him how to use silence, how to hold emotional weight, and how to command the screen without speaking. Universal Studios wanted to dub Arnold's accent, but John Milius refused. He believed Conan's deep, deliberate voice made him mysterious and powerful. Arnold earned $250,000 for the role and signed a contract banning him from playing any other sword-wielding hero. By the end, he wasn't acting. He became the Barbarian completely. Fact number 9. The dog chase was real and terrifying. The famous scene where Conan runs from wild dogs was not acting. It was real fear. John Milius wanted realism, so he used trained attack dogs known for their aggression. They didn't behave as expected. On the first take, they lunged too close. On the second, they tore Arnold's clothing. On the third, one of the dogs bit him. Instead of stopping the scene, Milius shouted for Arnold to keep running. The panic on Arnold's face was real. When the scene made the final cut, it became one of the most authentic moments in the entire movie. Fact number 8. Arnold actually punched a camel. One of the movie's most infamous scenes shows Conan punching a camel in the face. The camel was sedated, and the scene was meant to be humorous, but after the film's release, animal rights groups protested it. This became only one of many issues during filming. Horses panicked from explosions, goats escaped the set, and environmental groups accused the crew of damaging Spain's protected sand dunes. The production was chaotic and messy, mirroring the violent world they were trying to create. Milius defended it all, calling the film a tribute to survival and raw nature. Fact number 7. The original cut was darker and longer. John Milius delivered a version of Conan the Barbarian that was much darker. It had longer battles, more violence, and a more emotional version of Conan's parents' death. Producer Dino De Laurentiis thought it was too intense and demanded cuts. Nearly 20 minutes were removed, softening some of the harshest scenes. The darker version was never officially restored and may be lost forever. Fans believe it showed Milius's true vision, a brutal, haunting myth about pain and destiny. The final movie is still intense, but the original version was far more brutal. Fact number 6. The music became one of cinema's best scores. Composer Basil Poledouris approached the soundtrack like a massive mythic song. He used a huge orchestra and choir to make the music feel ancient and powerful. Each moment matched Conan's movements. When he swung a sword, the horns roared. When fire burned, the drums thundered. The music wasn't just background sound. It was the film's heartbeat. Even critics who disliked the movie agreed the score was extraordinary. Many filmmakers still study the soundtrack for its emotional power. Without Poledouris, Conan wouldn't feel like an epic legend. It would just be action. Fact number 5. Valeria was an original character. In the original stories, Conan's true love was a pirate queen named Belit. But John Milius created Valeria for the movie, a warrior equal to Conan. Actress Sandahl Bergman trained for months and performed most of her own stunts. She wasn't meant to be a typical love interest. She was strong, fearless, and ready to die in battle. Her chemistry with Arnold made their relationship feel real. When Valeria dies and later returns as a glowing spirit to save Conan, it's not meant to be cheesy. It's meant to feel mythic, like a Viking legend brought to life. Fact number 4. Conan made Arnold Schwarzenegger a superstar. Before Conan the Barbarian, Arnold was seen mostly as a bodybuilder with a strange accent. Hollywood didn't take him seriously. Everything changed when he stepped onto the screen as Conan. His physical presence, quiet intensity, and ability to show emotion without many lines impressed audiences. The movie became a box office success, proving Arnold could lead a major film. This role opened the door to The Terminator, Predator, and many 1980s action classics. Conan didn't just give Arnold fame, it gave him his long Hollywood career. Fact number 3. The movie became a controversial success. When the film came out in 1982, critics were divided. Some called it violent and primitive. Others said it was a powerful mythic story. Religious groups protested, while fantasy fans loved its raw style. Despite the arguments, audiences filled theaters. On a $20 million budget, it earned nearly $80 million worldwide. Over the years, midnight showings, VHS tapes, and online communities turned it into a cult classic. What was once considered too brutal is now seen as one of the most important fantasy films ever made. Fact number 2. Conan sparked a wave of barbarian movies. After Conan the Barbarian became a hit, every studio wanted their own sword and muscle hero. Films like The Beastmaster, Deathstalker, and The Sword and the Sorcerer appeared almost immediately. Posters were filled with muscular warriors and fantasy monsters. But most of these films copied Conan's style without understanding its deeper themes. They had the action, but not the myth. Even so, this wave shaped the fantasy genre for the rest of the 1980s. And through it all, Arnold remained the face of the barbarian era, sitting on the throne he helped build. Fact number 1. The saga never got its final chapter. After the success of the first film, Universal planned a 4-film saga showing Conan's rise from slave to king. But the sequels failed to match the original's power. Conan the Destroyer was lighter and more kid-friendly, disappointing many fans. Later attempts, a cartoon, a TV show, a reboot, never captured the original magic. For years, Arnold pushed for a final movie called The Legend of Conan, showing Conan as an aging king reflecting on his life. Scripts were written, artwork created, but studios kept delaying. The legend remains unfinished, waiting for the sword to rise again.